My dad's 43 male girlfriend is trying to get rid of me. 15 female. My mom passed away 5 years ago and I think of her every day. My dad went through a really bad depression and I had to take care of myself basically. During the Christmas holidays, my dad told me that he had been seeing someone for a while. I noticed that he was happier and I guess I was happy for him. I didn't want him to be lonely forever, but I did feel like my mom was being erased completely. He never wanted to talk about her and he got rid of all pictures with her in them. He said that his girlfriend will be spending Christmas with us and then moving in. I wasn't happy at all. I don't even know her, but I didn't say anything. I met her at Christmas, and usually my dad and I put the star on the tree that day. We would put the star on the tree and watch The Grinch. It's our tradition, and we kept it, even when we were grieving my mom. It's the only tradition from when she was with us that we actually kept. When his girlfriend came over he put the star on with her while I was in the bathroom. Also, we didn't watch The Grinch because she hates it. I know I sound spoiled and childish, but I was so angry. We've been doing this my whole life and she just came in and destroyed it. The whole night she didn't even bother getting to know me at all. She was all over my dad and pretty much ignored me. I told my dad about how upset I was about our tradition, and he said I should grow up and that things change. I didn't like her because she gave me a bad feeling, so I never got close to her. She complained to my dad about it and he got mad at me for not making her feel welcomed. I felt bad because she makes my dad happy, so I tried being more friendly with her. In front of my dad, she was nice to me, but when we were alone she ignored me or spoke to me with attitude. She even told me that I was a brat and I make my dad's life harder. I told him, but he didn't believe me and yelled at me for trying to sabotage his relationship. He said that I wanted him to die alone and be sad and that I was selfish. I was so shocked because none of it is true. My dad treated me like I wasn't there at all after that. I felt like I did when my mom died, all alone. I stayed up late one night because I just couldn't sleep and wanted to sneak in a midnight snack. The girlfriend was in the kitchen on FaceTime, so I decided to be nosy and listen. She was talking about my dad and how much she loves him. Then she said that he had this dumb daughter and she wondered if it was too late for adoption. She and her friend laughed at that. She said that I was a little witch and she hated me. Her friend then said something about boarding school or military school, but I left, so I didn't hear the rest. I was so exhausted from all the crying I did, so I slept. I didn't tell my dad, and I don't even know if I should, since he probably won't believe me. I really miss my mom. I kinda want to go live with my grandparents, mom's parents, now, but I don't want my dad to think that I'm leaving him. What do I do? Can I even do anything? How do I get my dad to listen to me? Would I be wrong for leaving? Update: my dad's 43 male girlfriend is trying to get rid of me. 15 female. Hi. Since my last post, I spoke to my grandparents and told them everything. I asked if I could stay with them if I wanted to and they agreed. I then spoke to my dad again and tried to tell him how I felt and what I had heard. I didn't want to film or record because I knew that he would be mad at that and wouldn't listen. He didn't believe me again and thought that I was jealous of having to share him with someone else. I got upset and told him that I was leaving so he could live happily ever after without the burden of having me around. He looked shocked but didn't say anything. I had already packed my bags and had brought some things to my grandparents' house already. My dad didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. My grandfather picked me up and I've been there since. I haven't gone home and I haven't heard from my dad. My grandparents told me that they would handle my dad and that I shouldn't have to be the one doing it. I'm upset that my dad hasn't called or texted me once to see if I'm okay. At the same time, I'm feeling so much better being with my grandparents. My grandmother is probably the sweetest person ever, and my grandfather is a little rough around the edges, but he's really a softie. I, 14 male, hid my 16 female cousin and now my family is upset and no one but my dad believes me. I know based on the title, in being judged extra hard. I don't condone hitting a woman, and if I could go back I would. What's done is done and now my family is in turmoil. So my aunt and uncle came to my house to talk to my parents. I thought this was stupid because of COVID, but they went ahead and came anyway. They brought my cousin whom we will call Carly. I and Carly get along fine, but yesterday we did not. We started to argue about a game system. It was a stupid argument of who got the good controller and who got the bad controller. Everything went downhill when I would not give her the good one. It's my system. She tried to take the remote from me, but in the process slapped me across the face with her nails. I started bleeding, so I got up and walked to the bathroom. I don't know if she had an adrenaline rush, but all I hear is my nails. She grabs me and punched me in the face. In the heat of the moment, I punched her in the stomach and she fell over screaming. Her dad comes up the stairs and without asking any questions beelines towards me. He grabs me, then my dad came and grabbed him. Before he could hit me, he and my dad were yelling pretty badly. My mom and aunt are talking to my cousin. My dad tells them to get out of his house. As of right now, I have gotten text messages and phone calls from my family calling me a woman beater. My dad is the only person to believe me. My mom is saying she believes me, but is acting cold. How do I fix this and stop my family from breaking down even more? I blocked my cousin and her parents, but I don't know what to do now. I also feel like my uncle wants to fight me. Update: I, 14 male, hid my 16 female cousin and now my family is upset and no one but my dad believes me. A lot of you asked which side is my uncle on. He is my mom's brother. I don't even think my dad's side even knows or cares about what happened. Okay, so to start, the day after my post my parents wanted to talk. As soon as we sat down my mom apologized to me. According to her, she didn't know whom to believe, and she also thinks regardless of what happened nobody should have been fighting. She said a lot of things, but the end result there was that she didn't mean anything she said to me, but that she was just disappointed and embarrassed that a fight even broke out. I asked her if my dad wasn't there would she have tried to stop my uncle when he came up the steps. My mom said that my uncle wasn't going to hurt, but she would have tried to stop him. I don't believe her, based on her reaction to this whole mess, but at least she apologized so everything is normal between us. My dad said that I fighting her didn't matter nearly as much as my uncle touching me. However, he said I should just say sorry to my cousin for hitting her, and he would deal with my uncle. Let's call cousin Carly from now on. Per Reddit's advice, I explained that I shouldn't have to apologize for hitting her if it was self-defense. He just told me that sometimes you have to be the mature one in a situation. That even though I was wronged I should take the high road, because next time something happens, people are more than likely to agree with the person who tries to make peace than a person who doesn't try at all. He said I didn't have to apologize, and that it was completely my choice. I wasn't going to apologize, but I kinda agreed with him, and decided I would. He said before I call Carly, he and my mom would talk to the rest of the family and my uncle about what happened. Later in the day, most of the family apologized for the text messages and phone calls. I'm assuming my parents talked to them. Some did not, but that's okay. Anyway, according to the people that did apologize, Carly and her parents had told a different story than me. Carly's story is that she had the remote first. I tried to take it from her, but in the process, I broke her nails when I grabbed her hand. She then said she was walking out of the room to tell her parents when I grabbed her to stop her and that I blocked the door. She said she slapped me because I would not let go of her. I'm assuming she told her parents she slapped me with the non-broken nail hand. That's the only way for the scratch on my face. Then I punched her. They also went on to say that they should have gotten involved without hearing the full story. I just told them thanks for apologizing, but it's not cool how you can just talk trash to your own family without hearing the full story. Some of them stopped responding after that, while some kept apologizing for it. I don't forgive them for sending all those messages to me, but I'm glad that they at least admitted they were wrong. Anyway, my parents came to me later on in the day and asked me to call Carly. It rang one time, so I'm assuming she blocked me too. So we decide to just call my uncle. My dad asked my uncle to apologize for touching me and to put Carly on the phone so that we can all just move on. My uncle said no. They then started to argue about it. Long story short, I'm no longer welcomed over my uncle's house and they're no longer welcome to ours. My mom tried to calm them both down, but it didn't work. My uncle is set on regardless of what my story is I should never hit a woman, and that I should be lucky my dad was there, because anybody with a daughter wouldn't let them get hit by somebody. So, in the end, most of the family apologized, and they are talking to me again. The ones that did not apologize, I don't know. My uncle is no longer allowed in our house. I lost an Xbox controller. I have no idea what my cousin is doing. Some of you thought she was pregnant. She is not, but I'm done with her anyway at this point. I'm assuming my dad, mom, and uncle are gonna work it out one day, but until then it doesn't affect me. But that's it. Everything's as good as it's gonna get for now. To the family members that did apologize, I still want to talk to them. I'm hoping that they didn't mean some of the things they said to me, but that they were just angry at the moment. To the ones that didn't, I'm no longer going to talk to them. My mom wants me to because it's her family, but she said she wouldn't make me. My dad said it's my call if I want to talk to them. So yeah, thanks Reddit. My girlfriend, 24 female, doesn't believe that I, 22 male, was taken advantage of. My girlfriend and I were hanging out. I was playing a game, and she was scrolling on her phone. We often just like to enjoy each other's company. I guess she was reading something, because she just stated how it's so sad that every woman knows someone, or has been someone who was sexually harassed and or assaulted. I agreed and told her that it's horrible how many women do not feel safe in situations where they should. She then said that men are so lucky they don't deal with it. I didn't know if she was being serious at first, but she kept ranting. I told her that what men go through in life doesn't compare to what women go through, but sexual assault is something that happens to men too. She then responded with all men think about is love making. I took that as an opportunity to open up to her and tell her about how I was taken advantage of from the ages of 7 to 18 by a woman whom I was supposed to trust. As a kid, she used to touch me or make me touch her and call it a little secret. As I got older she got more aggressive with the sexual acts. It only stopped because she moved away. She kinda looked at me with a yeah right face and said that all boys dream of being with an older woman. She only agreed that it was messed up that I was so young when it started. She then said that I seemed to be okay, so it's not that bad. Women who go through it have so much mental and emotional damage, and that women aren't as scary as men. I honestly didn't even know what to say. I'm not okay, I guess I'm just good at hiding it. I use smoking as a coping mechanism and it's been an issue in our relationship. How do I navigate our relationship going forward? I'm not sure where this was coming from. Maybe she went through something too? I don't know. Update: my girlfriend, 24 female, doesn't believe that I, 22 male, was taken advantage of. I tried talking to her again and she apologized, but I could tell that she wasn't sorry. She only did it because she had to, if that makes sense. I asked her how she would respond if we had a son and God forbid something happened to him. She didn't even respond. It reminded me of the way my parents responded when I told them. Crickets. I was 13 when I told them. In fact, they still keep contact with a woman, a family friend who was like an aunt to me. I broke up with her and explained to her why. She was furious, called me every name in the book, and said that it's fine because she didn't even like me that much anyway. I don't know how much of that is true or if she's saying it out of anger, but I don't care. Any doubt I felt about breaking up vanished with her response. I was fully willing to work on our relationship and give it another shot, but I guess I cared more about her than she did about me. I'm gonna stay with my sister for now. I think I need to be single. For some reason, I've always been quick to jump into relationships and they all fail. My now ex-girlfriend and I had some other issues that we've tried working through, but I can't work through this. I'm just gonna focus on myself moving forward. I've heard everything she said before from both men and women, but having it directed at me from someone I care about really hurt. It's not something I could let go. I've dealt with a lot of confusion and guilt surrounding what happened that made me question myself. I didn't like what was happening to me, but my body would react. This really messed me up. I'm gonna work through my issues before I even think of another relationship. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit like, get subscribed, and give the OP any advice you have in the comment section. and support the original writers with upvotes. Links in the description box.